That's what we needed. Need that, and I need a cup of coffee. That and a cup of coffee. Howdy, howdy. What's up, brother Zeke? I ain't heard from you in a bit. Hope everything's going well with you and the fam and everything. God damn. God damn. The Joe Jack Show. The 10-hour TJ jiggle is up and it's glorious. TJ sent me a GIF last night. Somebody made a GIF of his his truffle shuffle, and it's fucking insane. Working around the clock. Well, that's good. That means money around the clock, you know. Well, that's good, brother. It's kind of sad, man. Zeke, you like Zeke was probably like my only friend that would stop by the house. It's kind of sad. Yeah, Zeke was the last vestiges of my have a bro that comes over to just kind of chill and smoke weed with. Yeah. What it do? What it do? It do, man. It do. What's up, my homie? I'm just chilling, you know. I need to go get my coffee here in a minute. This is not herb, but this is also not herb. I feel like that is like one of the names for weed that you used to hear all the time, but now you never hear it, dude. You age yourself with that. You call it herb, you know that's an old school stoner right there. Nobody calls it herb anymore. Got all the herbage. Good. Me too. Moi aussi. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. I can say it. I've had green crack before, yeah. I've had it. I've had that flavor. I've savored that flavor. Oh, did you wake your mother up?
No, he didn't.
You didn't? Good. I gave him brekkie and everything.
I just woke up and was like, oh, there's a dinosaur.
I look like the officer from Batman. Which officer? Commissioner Gordon? Commissioner Gordon was a fat, hippie, stoner burnout? Cool. I forgot that about it. Been a while since I read me some Batman. Happy birthday to you. That sounds like a vacuum cleaner to me. I wonder if that's somebody just like cleaning out their car. Because that's definitely like a little vacuum cleaner. Oh man, I hate it when I look away for a second and I look back and it's literally just nothing but people being painted. So fucking lame. Dandruff? I don't know dandruff. You didn't see no snow. I take care of the dandruff situations.
Yeah, I don't think you really ever had dandruff. You just have an itchy scalp.
Yeah. I've got a very itchy scalp. But I don't get the dander. I don't get the dandruff. How old am I? Old. Ancient. Ancient. Too old. Where are you from? You can tell he's only 17. Shh. Keep my secret, man. I don't want to get carded at the club. Honey. Do I like GNR? No. I don't like Guns N' Roses. They suck. I didn't hear. Where are you from? You didn't hear because I didn't say. I need some coffee. Want a coffee, babe?
Yes, please.
I'll get you a coffee.
You got your stir cup again. Cleans it out.
Yep. Coffee is served. Oh, goodness. Give it a little mix here real quick. There we go. We're good. Now we know that the creamer is properly distributed. Banhammer's hot today. Yeah, it's been a little crazy. It's funny. It's like yesterday I did a stream and it wasn't bad, and then I came back and I did another one. No, that's not true. Oh, yesterday's stream wasn't bad. I think it had its moment. where a bunch of idiots were.
I think you're talking about Monday.
Am I talking about Monday? I don't know,
Where,
man.
like, you had a good morning stream, and then at night you were like, eh.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that was what it was. I seem wholesome. I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm pretty wholesome. I'm a softie. I'm a big old softie at the end of the day. Chocolate covered freeze dried bananas sounds pretty fucking good, honestly. Where you get that? Where you get a chocolate covered freeze? Because I like banana chips. You dip that in chocolate, that'd probably be pretty good. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad combo. Chocolate dipped banana chips. Saltwater taffy. I do like some saltwater taffy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Saltwater taffy's pretty fucking goddamn tasty. But I don't like it unless it's made like by an artisan taffy guy. Like I like the ones that are made down by the beach and shit. I don't like just like a bag of saltwater taffy from the store. I ain't never ever getting that. But you find a place that's making their own taffy on the regular, that's the place you get the taffy right there. You don't get that like imported Chinese taffy. Fuck that. You get the real taffy. Oh, are you from America? Isn't that obvious, man? Don't I just like absolutely reek of the red, white, and blue? Doesn't it just drip off of me, bro? Why is your YouTube name the Poltergeist? Because it's cool. It's like Poltergeist, but with my name. That's it. That's where it begins and ends, bro. You do reek? Oh, man, that's mean. Why you gotta say a mean thing the first time you say something? Like you ain't even introduced yourself. What? Oh, the 11 on my forehead? Yeah, this right here is called a birthing scar. And I've had it my whole life. Yeah. Happens when your mom gives natural birth to you, but probably should have got a C-section because you're a giant. That's what happened to me.
At least you didn't get forceps or suction cupped.
I might have. I don't know. I haven't asked my mom.
Like normally there'll be like big old like forceps or prong things on the side of their head if they use the forceps thing, and the vacuum thing can be a little weird too.
Oh, yeah. I don't know all the tools they got. Which mythology would you say is most likely to be true? I mean, I think they're all equally untrue. I think that's the point, right? I don't know if there's like a mythology that gets it. How about the mythology of science? Maybe that's the closest one. I don't know. I don't think I've run across a mythology and gone like, you know what? This one right here might be true. I never notice it till you mention it. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is for me too. I never think about it until other people say something about it. Like every once in a while, somebody will be like, did you smack your head or something? You okay? I'm like, I'm good.
You smacked your head 45 years ago.
I scraped my head against my mother's hip bone. science isn't a faith-based idea, mythology. I'm curious what you mean by it. Well, I'm talking about the mythology that we create from ourselves, or create for ourselves using science, right? It's something that's covered pretty heavily in Ishmael. You know, the mythology of science tells us that human beings are greater than other animals. And the mythology of science tells us that human beings are the stewards of the planet, those sorts of things, right? If you look at our civilizational makeup, like how we work together, our civilizational mythology is that human beings have a manifest destiny to spread everywhere on the planet and to use and utilize every resource we find, right? That is part of the mythology of civilization. And it's what I was referencing when I say the mythology of science, right? Ancient Aliens says there's similarities in many religions. There are, but I don't think that that's proof of Ancient Aliens. The similarities that happen in a lot of religions are the result of, you know, regional mythology. So it's like Jesus having 12 apostles was a way to wrap pagan belief into the Jesus mythology, right? You know, there's a reason why Christmas is on the winter solstice. Jesus wasn't born on December 25th, right? But the church at large decided that that would be Jesus's birthday in order to combat and provide a reason for pagans to celebrate that wasn't pagan. The winter solstice is a big pagan holiday, right? So that's why there are so many similarities in religions, is because the people that wrote those religions were aware of the religions that came before and were attempting to speak to people who may have still been practicing those religions. Speaking with my friend on this subject, do you think humans we know as we know them today would have made it without religion? Would humans have burned themselves out? I mean, there's no doubt that religion has played an important organizational role, if nothing else, in humanity, right? And religion is kind of a natural outcropping of human curiosity, right? That's where I see religion being born from. A human being likes to look at something and understand what he's looking at, and when he doesn't, when he can't think of any kind of explanation for what he's looking at, then I believe the human mind kind of starts looking for supernatural things, right? And that's the genesis of all religion. The sun rising in the east, setting in the west. The predictable pattern of the stars and the constellations. These are all things that human beings down through the generations, right, would observe. And the question becomes like, what motherfucker was it that first noticed how there was a mythology building around the sun or the weather and said, I'm the one that speaks to him? That's when religion was born, right? The first time a human being decided to step in and say, hey, I'm the guy that talks up there. I can hear his voice, right? Every culture on Earth has a story about a great flood. Yeah, and well, and that, I think the logical outcropping of that is you realize that human beings survived the post ice age melt, right? So, for example, what we know now as the Mediterranean Sea used to be a giant valley nestled between two mountain ranges, right? And there likely were human ancestors living there, right? And I'm not just talking about that valley. You can look at Mesopotamia, right between the Tigris and Euphrates River, right? That area floods out. There are areas in northeastern Iran that scientists say flooded massively after the Ice Age. And there is a strong current theory that people from that area, modern day Iran, when their valley flooded out, took to the ocean in boats and came to Mesopotamia, found Mesopotamia, and founded the city of Uruk, right? And so that's why you have a flood myth in a lot of modern religions, right? Is because our ancient prehistoric ancestors experienced massive flooding, right? Am I religious? Maybe a little. Do you think it came out of genuine belief or from a desire to control others? Probably the latter, right? But those two things have to exist in tandem, right? So there has to be somebody that cynically takes advantage of it, and then there has to be true believers. So. Polly got a gun. Yep, river valleys, marshes, low-lying areas, coastal areas that would have seen massive, what seemed like world-ending flooding, right? And these types of stories were codified. Of course, something big like that happens, and you have no way of quantifying why it's happening. Just all of a sudden, the water is coming, and it doesn't stop, and it swallows your whole village, and it swallows all of the hunting grounds. You're right. That is going to be like an apocalyptic event with no explanation, right? And so that is why there are flood myths in every fucking modern religion. Because the ancestors of pretty much every buddy that practices those religions either, directly experienced flooding or met people who did, right? And oftentimes religions, in an effort to convert other religions, adjacent religions, will make modifications to that religion that are meant to speak to those pagan believers outside of the religion, right? So you're talking about Christianity giving Jesus 12 apostles, having him ride around on a donkey. These are all things that have parity in multiple different religions. Osiris is one of them. That's the Egyptian equivalent. There's, I'm trying to think of the name. I used to back in the old YouTube atheism days, I used to remember these names. But there are a number of religious figures in relatively recent human history that share a lot of attributes with Jesus Christ. Mithra, Dionysus, as those are a couple of other ones, right? Where you're talking about the virgin birth, born in a manger, wise men visit, enters the city on a donkey, blah, 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 like all of these things, right? Horus, right? Bacchus, all of these things, like there's a reason why Jesus has a little bit of that and a little bit of that and a little bit of him and a little bit of him, because Jesus was basically designed as a Messiah, right? Their first-hand records of Jesus are few and far between and non-existent, a lot of historians will tell you. I think there's like I'm trying to remember the name of, there's one Roman historian who mentions Jesus as a historical figure who existed. Is it Barabbas or Josephus or something like that? Yeah, that's it. Like the Gospels of Jesus, supposedly written by his apostles, or none of them are contemporary. Like our best estimation is that the closest gospel written to Jesus's actual, what would have been Jesus's life, death, and resurrection, right, is something like 60 years hence. So the contemporary existence of Jesus Christ was created by the church in order to fulfill a lot of these stories which were meaningful to other non-Christian religions of the time, right? So you've got a little bit of Egyptian paganism. You've got a little bit of Greco-Roman paganism. You've got, well, a lot of bit of Greco-Roman paganism. You've got, you know, Mithra, Dionysus, Bacchus, all of these different examples of people that were born of a virgin. You know what I mean? Had 12 disciples. Like, there's a reason for that. Yeah. Well, Jesus is a convenient construct of multiple religious figures. If everyone agrees that people came from the stars, can we believe there is more than creature? What? What did you say? Yeah, correlation between becoming a Christ in Egypt and becoming a Buddha in Asia. There's a lot of this, right? It's like ancient people, the ancient people that would have started the cult of Christendom, right? And started writing and collating those words. Like Christendom, you realize, is a religion that is made to fit into Judaism, right? It is supposed to be the fulfillment of the Judaic faith, right? This idea that a Messiah will come. Problem is that, you know, Jews don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, right? But a lot of the mythology of Jesus is wrapped up in what would it take to make people believe that this is the Jewish Messiah? What would it take to make people believe that this is their pagan, this is Mithras, this is Dionysus, this is Bacchus?
Christmas was worked around all these other religious holidays.
Yep, we talked that. That's the winter solstice, mostly, but a lot of other religious holidays as well, because it's a big astrological day, right? So pagans would have big festivals and feasts and give gifts and all of this stuff, and all of that shit was wrapped up under Christianity in an attempt to kind of like appease these religious beliefs and to convert these religious beliefs generationally into Christendom. That's why Christianity is such a popular religion at this point in human history, is because it gathered up all of the other religions, or most of them, right? And became this like little puzzle of a philosophy that ticked everybody's little boxes at the time. It's easier to deny that God actually became a man than it is to believe that someone exactly like yourself can be God, when self-knowledge affirms that as a human I am fallible and not a God. Man, that's some... You have to understand what a pretzel that argument is, bro. That's a self-referential fucking statement. It's all based on the existence of this God character, right? And it's a very confusing and convoluted way to dance around the central question, right? I mean, no one is a god in the biblical sense. Either everyone is or no one is. Well, such a being is self-refuting. So if he's all-powerful, omnipotent, and omniscient, he knows all and can do all, right? Then, the easy question is, could God create a rock so heavy that even he couldn't lift it? If the answer is no, there's something God couldn't do, so he's not omnipotent. If the answer is yes, then there's something God couldn't do, and he's not omnipotent. It's a paradox. It's a paradoxical idea for there to be a being that is omniscient and omnipotent. It creates logical inconsistency by its very insinuation. So it's one of them things, I guess he's pure energy that sits outside this reality like a snow globe on his desk. Why are you personifying energy? Why would pure energy have a desk with a snow globe on it? See what I mean? Energy just seems like an explanation that doesn't require God. If you're saying God is an energy, then why are we personifying the energy, right? You're making a logical leap, right? When you say that there's some sort of energy or some sort of universal source, right? That could be studied and maybe even described one day scientifically. But you take an extra leap, right? So it's already taking a leap about this energy or source, and then you take the extra leap of calling it him. What about God being nothing personified? There is no such thing as nothing. For an example of this, I want you to find any scientific description of nothing. There's no such thing anywhere in the universe. It is a complete and utter fiction. There's no such thing as nothing. What about before the universe? That's presuming that there was a before the universe. There's a huge presumption that the universe has to have what we consider a traditional beginning or end. And a religious person will say that God has no beginning or end. And I will say, then why invent a character for it? Aren't you just talking about the universe? Right? So there's a presumption that the universe has a beginning and an end, right? That there was something like nothing prior to the universe. But even if, like, okay, so let's say what surrounded, let's say the Big Bang Theory is correct. What surrounded the infinitesimally condensed matter? And a lot of people would say nothing. No, a vacuum is the answer. A vacuum is not nothing. So even with the Big Bang Theory, there's not nothing. No. The vacuum of space, a vacuum is not nothing. A vacuum is a measurable thing. It is something, right? But there is no such thing as nothing, even out in interstellar space, right? There is radiation. There are light particles and photons screeching through, right? There is gravitational force. All of these are measurable somethings that you're, right, trying to put into a nothing. These are all measurable somethings. There is no such thing as nothing. No, nothing is the absence of existence. It is the opposite of existence. anti-existence. That's nothing. And there's no such thing. If you go out into the deepest reaches of space, far as you can get from another star, right? And you were to measure the space around your spacecraft, you would find particles, radiation, you would find all of the other things that I talked about, photons of light, gravitational forces interacting with one another, right? So just because it's a big black void doesn't mean there's nothing in the big black void. What? But religion was before science. You're implying science and language are ways to describe God. No, I'm not implying that. It would be nice for you if I was implying that. I don't believe in God. I'm saying that religion is an incorrect presumption made by primitive human beings about the way things work, right? We got a lot of subgumps. Yeah, we do. It is not black and white, Phoebes. It really isn't. Go look it up. I want you to find, like I asked you to do. We can sit here and like type paragraphs back and forth at each other. Go find me a scientific study where nothing is described and studied. You won't find it because it doesn't exist. So can the multiverse be real? Yes. Yeah, the multiverse can be real. Sure. Nothing is a paradox, right? Nothingness doesn't exist. It has never been described, and it has never been studied. It cannot be studied. Dude, this dude desperately wants to make this about fucking gender shit. Like, dude, you people are like crackheads, bro. You social issue fucking gay agenda weirdos that just travel around everywhere trying to make everything about gender. It's nuts, bro. You people are snapped. So everything was created out you and me and galaxies all by chance. I didn't say that at all. I said that it's possible and maybe even probable that the universe itself is functionally eternal. So that precludes the need for chance or randomity, right? Reddit mod final boss, dude. I'm not the final boss. I'm the dude that pops out once like you remember like when you used to beat a boss back in like a Final Fantasy game, and then you keep playing and you go find the Giga boss that's hiding under the ocean or whatever, Ruby Weapon or whatever is down there. That's me. Okay, that's me. Never did have a fedora phase though. You got me twisted up on that. It's a widely debated topic on which scientists and philosophers disagree wildly. Right. There's a lot of philosophical implications in a lot of scientists, in a lot of hard sciences. Right. The philosophy of science is an entirely different thing. Right. It is whether it could possibly be is philosophically debated. Right. But science does not describe it, cannot study it, and according to the way that science understands the universe and its processes, it does not exist. And I'm willing to go with that. I'm willing to go with that. Until somebody finds some nothing, right? It's the same reason that people like me often disagree with the idea of an old man that lives up in the sky watching you jerk off in the shower. You know what I mean? Until that person is found and interviewed and all of that and described, I really can't. I really can't see the reason to apply it to my philosophy or otherwise. Thou shalt have no other gods before me implies that God has confirmed the existence of other gods. Well, if you read the Old Testament, God used to interact with other gods and shit. So it's a pagan religion. You're just presuming that you're worshiping the right one, Yahweh, right? But if you read the Old Testament and you believe that's the unerring word of God, all these other gods exist. Other gods with a lower G. Gotcha. It's about the capitalization. It's wacky religion, right? But you point these things out to Christian people and they've got a million excuses for why it's still logical for them. And then once you get them to the edge of logic, they abandon it and go like, it's just faith, bro. So it's just not consistent. It's not consistent. I believe that if you were to just like randomly kidnap two Christian people, they probably believe and interview them about Jesus and their religion. They probably believe two different fucking things. Do you need to be baptized to enter the kingdom? You know what I mean? Is God part of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost triune God, or is he a separate being? Was Jesus flesh and blood real, or was he divine? Right? These are going to be things that Christians left, right, and center are all going to have completely different answers to. Well, the interaction of philosophy and science is philosophy seeks to make scientific reality as it's described interact with the human mind and perception, right? That is the intersection between science and philosophy, right? Or one of the intersections. Another would be ethics, right? So science and philosophy clash on ethical grounds. What is correct to do? What is right to do, right? These ethical questions are typically the purview of philosophers. So you believe in nothing? What? What is this, bud? The answer I was able to find in an interview with a theoretical physicist is that nothingness in the literal sense cannot exist because even in an elaborate vacuum, there would be subatomic, which is exactly what I said. So this whole argument, it's just frustrating sometimes, Phoebes. If you rewind this, I said that if you were to go out to a theoretical patch of nothing, there would be subatomic particles, there would be debris, there would be photons and ions and radiation, all measurable somethings that are supposed to be nothing. That's what I said. I'm not pissed. It's just such a waste of, I just feel like it was such a waste of time for us to go back and forth for the last 20 minutes for you to arrive at the original fucking thing that I said. That sucked. It's just annoying because it was such a small thing. Like I'm arguing with a bunch of fucking religious people in here, right? There's a bunch of like Christian / religious folks in here, and I'm going through the teleological argument and the cosmological argument in layman's, And then, you know, you come in here and say, well, I think nothing, maybe, I think it is kind of maybe something. And I said, well, no, it isn't, because this, and this. Well, I found this, and I think it's up for debate, and it's not black and white. It's like, oh, my fucking God. And then the whole thing, that whole process was for you to end up exactly where I'm at. You know, it's just, you know, it's just a human thing. It really has nothing to do with you. It's just more an illustration of why having a conversation with human beings is sometimes feels like it's impossible, right? Because I feel like we just spent the last 10 minutes bouncing back and forth on something only to just end up right where I started with it. You know what I mean? From my perspective, it's not. From your perspective, it was a journey to find the philosophical truth or whatever the fuck. From my perspective, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe I'm lying about it. I guess that was the implication. Like when I say that there's no such thing as nothing, because if you went to a theoretical patch of nothing, there would be subatomic particles, radiation, gravitational forces. These are all somethings, right? That's a very, it just feels like you coming in and going like, well, not really, actually. It's kind of going like, well, you don't know your shit. And I'm not claiming that like I'm some fucking theoretical physicist, but I've read about this. This is an argument that was made way back in the fucking day. This is old hat type of argument, right? And so from your perspective, it's digging. From my perspective, it's you came in here, called into question a fact that I presented because I'm not, you know, I guess using the cover of the fact that I'm not a fucking expert on the subject. I mean, if we went back through your fucking typing in this, Phoebes, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of shit I'm supposed to read, when I know already the answer to it, I've already given you the answer to it, right? So from your perspective, this was a philosophical journey where you came to the, you now have a better understanding of it. And from my perspective, it was 10 minutes of nuh-uh, followed by, oh yeah, you're right. Here's what I was able to find. And then literally what Paul said. You know what I mean? Like it's a perspective issue. It's a perspective issue. Right? The interaction is going to be two different things. Right? It's going to be what you perceived it as, and it's going to be what I perceived it as. Right? What I perceived it as is a waste of fucking time. What you perceived it as is a philosophical journey towards the truth. I don't know. It is what it is. That's why there will never be a majority cohesion of humans in any direction. Cosmological discussion is also just in one ear and out the other for some, yeah. My original contention, which I believe you missed, was that most people don't mean the quantum definition when you say nothingness. They mean an absence of matter. But that doesn't exist either. An absence of matter doesn't exist. Subatomic particles are matter. So your original contention was exactly what I described it. The explanation was exactly what I gave. If you went to a theoretical patch of nothingness and put your instruments out there, you would find subatomic particles, microscopic debris, solar radiation, all measurable somethings in this supposed nothing. It's just one of those things, Phoebes. It's just one of those things. What is thought? Is it nothing? Is it measurable? Yeah, thoughts are measurable via electrical impulse. So a thought is a something, yes. Can you say you are getting mad over nothing? No. It's just one of those things. It's just there are always two perceptions at play when you're having an interaction with a human being, right? And a lot of times, because human beings are very social animals, a lot of times those things are very similar, right? And we revel in that similarity, I think, a lot. Oh yeah, I feel the same way as you. Oh yeah, I perceive that the same way. It feels good to have that simpatico between other human beings. But there are times, like the one we just witnessed, where something was meaningful and worthwhile to another person and annoying and a waste of time to another. What are those things? You have a lot of pain in your heart, an empty hole from being alone. Dude, I'm married. My wife was just out here. I love these assumptions, dude. The Brett Keane banter. Yeah. It was fun. Nope, I don't care. I have never. I don't fuck around with the weird derivations of weed. I was having this conversation in Salt Rackus. I think it was yesterday. So somebody was going through all the reasons why this THC and that THC is better than this THC, and I was just like, bro, can I just get some weed? I don't give a fuck. I don't need it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way I look at it. Nobody knows what it's like to be the Zigo. Ah. Ooh-wee. I'm always hesitant to open a can of worms online. We're all allowed to our opinions, but fucking hell, some of them are stubborn and just want to teach me something without knowing what life I had. Yeah. No brew, but I did go to get an intoxicant of one kind or another. Yeah. Yeah, this is I really like Mastodon, especially their earlier stuff and their mid kind of career stuff. Like my favorite Mastodon is Blood Mountain. I just love that album conceptually. It's just about a giant fighting tournament where all these beasts like Cyclops and Sasquatch and dragons come to fucking fight to the death. It's dope. I love that. Blood Mountain, bro. Yeah, I finished The Wire like a year and change ago. Leviathan is great. This is Leviathan. This is a great shirt, but it's just old and crusty. I would like to get another one, but I have not seen another one. I'm just homesick today. I'm watching all the chat. Yeah. It's funny to watch, and I appreciate your internet. Well, I mean, it's, you know, I wouldn't like do this if I didn't, if I, you know, if I was just going to sit here and talk to myself for an hour. I mean, sometimes it devolves into that. I don't get on a spiel, but I like the idea that we're all having a conversation or whatever. Hi. This new said hi button. It's so fucking lame. Hi. 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 You loathe it. The hi button is on your nerves. Gotta love YouTube, man. There's all this shit about YouTube that they could upgrade and fix. And somebody down there was like, let's give people like this button they can jam on that's annoying as fuck. Let's do that. It just goes to show my theory of the monkey button is true, though. Like, look how many monkey buttons they give you to dangle with while you're doing this, so that it feels like you're doing something, like, technical. You can jam on an emoji. You can furiously type in chat, trying to get as many spams in as you can. You can turn up the volume. You can scroll up to another one. It's just literally like the whole thing is just a device to keep you fucking slack jawed and distracted, bro. But make your brain like make you personally feel like you're doing something. Man, I'm interacting. You know what I mean? It's fucking kind of sad, bro. It's beyond kind of sad. It's full blown sad. Let's be real. Beyond dystopian. And it's like there's a few of us apes that realize that we're dumb apes that are easily distracted, and they take full advantage of that shit, bro. They're getting fucking beyond wealthy off of that. And the rest of us are all just caught in a trap. Caught in a trap. I can't look back. Because I love you too much, baby. No, it is. It's the technological equivalent of reaching down, making a doo-doo in your hand, and flinging it at somebody to get their attention. It literally is, bro. And think about that, dude. How long has YouTube been dog shit? And they just did an update. And what did they add? The hi button. Another monkey button for people to go and put their paw on and go, you know what I mean? They didn't fix the back end. You know, they didn't bring their fucking quality up to the same standards as other streaming platforms. They didn't add anything to make the creator have an easier time or a better time making content for them. Right? There's just a billion fucking things about YouTube that have never been addressed. And when they do an update, what do they add? Let's add a button that the dumbasses can lay their big hairy paw against and slam it. Hi, 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 hi. Well, don't they already have that thing where they can slam their monkey button over here and make emojis pop up? Yeah, but that's not enough. That's not enough. They need another thing that they can put their paw on and go, That was a whole ass conversation. I'm not even joking. Down at YouTube. Hey guys, a lot of things on the docket. What should we fix? Well, our studies are showing that people need a few more things to put their big hairy knuckles on and drag their knuckles on the screen. Oh, let's get on that. What can we do? How about a button that they can drag their hairy ape knuckles on that says hi when you push it? Let's get on that. Get the engineers on that right now. Implementation should be immediate. That's brilliant. All right, meeting adjourned. That literally happened. Think about it. Not even a joke, not even an exaggeration. The slack-jawed morons need something else to press on the screen to make them feel like they're doing something while they're sitting there doing nothing. Let's add another one. I mean, look, dude, they basically give me the creator equivalent of keys to jangle all up in your face. No joke. How do I do that again? I can't remember because it's been so long since I did it. Let's see. Ain't that. Is it this? No, that's a pole. That's another key I can jangle in your face. Pin? Okay, no. Is this it? Highlight? No, that ain't it. Is this it? Green screen? No. It's in here somewhere, man. I can't even find it. See, they make it impossible to find. But there's a bunch of little filters I can put on. It's literally like the digital equivalent of me jangling keys in your face. It's the most retarded shit. It's insanely retarded. Let's see, community moderation, is that where it's in? Where did they tuck this away? Maybe they took it away. So they took it away. They took away the key jangling. No, it's a button. So when somebody first, they added it just recently. When you first go in to a live stream and you've never been in a live stream, it puts a button on the screen like, say hi to the chat. And when you hit it, it does that little hi, hi, hi. So yeah, it's just another thing. It's just another monkey button that they added to keep you watching things longer. Pretty awesome, if you ask me. Pretty dope, if you ask me. Caught in a trap. I can't hold back. There is a green screen option, though. I wonder how well it works. Let's see. Green screen. Allow photos access? No, fuck that.
You need to have a green screen and have a background that you want to use and shit.
Lame. It's not an automatic green screen. Oh. Boo.
I don't know what you were expecting.
I thought it was gonna like blur out my background, like, you know what I mean, and then make, and you know, like those other ones do, where you can hit the button and it just keeps you in focus and blurs out your background, and then you can replace the background with something else, like a fake green screen.
They're not doing that.
They're letting you set up a real green screen. Lame. Lame AF. Quick buzz of semi-adrenaline. Dopamine is what we call that. Little dopamine hit. It might still do that. Doesn't Zoom have that feature? I don't fucking know, bro. There used to be a thing I could push over here. And I thought it was this wand, but that's just retouch. Dude, look at how weird I look with retouch on. It makes me look all soft and babyish. So weird that they added that. That's one of the tricks that people will be doing to trick you into making you think they look better than they do, though. It's just a button I can push to make me look like I have, like, I don't know, like weird feathery baby face. Kind of gross. Paul, I researched longitude, and it's a BS standard. You discussed it before. Oh, you're talking about, like, when I was arguing or trying to figure out. Yeah, I was like, so if we go west, we end up in the east. Yeah. And if we head far east, we end up in the far west. Mm-hmm. It just don't make no sense. And if you're standing on the east coast of China, you're in west. No. You're in. You would think that you would be in West China, but that's not true. You're in East China. And what China considers the West is India. I don't make any sense. You know what? It's bullshit. You're right, blind programmer. I trust that you looked into it and you found that it indeed makes no sense. Like east and west on a circle. That makes no sense. Like north and south being analogs for up and down, that makes sense. But where the fuck is east and west on a sphere? Don't make no sense. Yeah. To them, west is going east. And east is going west, and we have this standard where we're talking to each other now, but nobody knows which way we're faced. Like, I don't get it. I'm fucking longitude starts in the UK. Well, that's one of the ways that they try and make it make sense, because they put it on that GMT line or whatever the fuck. But I'm telling you, that is bullshit. Yeah, the West, they go, the journey to the West, if you were to journey west in China, see, here's the problem I have, right? You're in California, you want to go to China, right? You get on a plane, right? Which direction is that plane going to fly to get you to China?
It's going to go west.
It's going to go west, right? So that plane is flying west. We get to China. We keep going. We're going west. 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 We're going. Wait. But I feel like a flat earther right now. My brain just doesn't understand this.
It's just the difference between like the context of direction on an individual level and the global.
Yes,
thing.
That's where I'm having a fucking breakdown.
Yeah. The global longitude and latitude thing is for global reference, not personal reference.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it, baby. I don't understand it.
Well, if it didn't exist, we wouldn't have GPS.
But maybe GPS is bullshit because it doesn't make sense. Maybe we're all just wandering and hoping we get where we go. While I was looking, the 49th parallel, the border between Canada and USA, and I was debating with ChatGPT, parallel to what? Right? Right? It's like clockwise and counterclockwise. It don't make no sense to me, man. I can't make it make sense in my head. I feel like a dunce, but it's like, it's the truth. I feel like if you go far enough west, you're going east. And from the perspective of somebody to the west, you are always going west, but you're going east anyway. But from the perspective of your destination, it doesn't make any sense. It drives me insane. And like, okay, here's one that fucks me up. What is another, like, there's a bunch of names for Asia, right? One of those names is the Far East. How do you get to the Far East? You just go west. It's like, what? Wait a minute, what? They call it the Far East. Why the fuck do you go west to get there? You want to talk about? Like what? Like when you talk about Buddhism, is that a Western religion? No, that's an Eastern religion. Well, if I want to go to where Buddhism was founded, how do I get there? Oh, you just go west, homie. What? Hella far west. But wouldn't I go east to get there? Nah, man. You got to go west to get the Eastern religions. But do I live in the East? Hell no, dude. You're in the West. So I got to go east to get to China then, right? No, dude. No. Go west, homie. It's like, what? But make it make sense. haven't seen you chase off a squirrel in a while. Maybe they got the message that they are persona non grata in your yard, huh, boy? Just a concept that fucks me up. That fucks me up. It's just like a weird lie that we all agree on. And nobody questions it, and everybody's just like, nah, it makes it work. It's cool. We live on an oblique spheroid, but head west, bro. Whatever the fuck that means on a sphere, you know? Cardinal. Next topic. Sure. Paul, not gonna change the topic. Is Brett King gonna be invited to the show? I don't know. I mean, like I was saying last night, I feel like the manatee thrives on having a nemesis. And I think that, you know, since we stopped covering the manatee, he lacks that nemesis. You know what I mean? From the South Pole, every direction is north. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it, bro, because that's a bunch of other crazy shit, right? It's like, say you're standing right on the magnetic North Pole. Like, what direction do you head to go south? Every direction is south. It's like, but you know what I mean? Like, this whole fucking shit has got me fucked up. And I honestly, I'm being dead ass honest with you guys. I feel like a fucking retard about this because I feel like there's some little piece of context that I'm missing, but it just, I swear to God, it has never made sense to me since I was a kid. This question has been burning inside of me. But yeah, I don't think bread can exist. He's like, think about it this way. You've got a manatee, right? Swimming free. Down at the bottom, sucking up algae out of the mud, dodging boats, you know what I mean? But that manatee is free. Then you take that manatee and you put him in a tank. You feel me? He's in the tank now. He can't interact with anybody. He's not free. He's in the tank. We've got a choice, I think. I don't know which choice we should make, but the choice is, do we let that manatee sit in the tank? Or do we let him be free? Do we give him, you know, freedom to have a little vim and vigor and have have that arch nemesis energy back? You know, that's when he was at his best. I'll let the manatee sit in the tank. Cast it into the fire. No. Paul's ego, do it. Cast it into the fire. No. I don't know. I don't know, blind programmer. Are you a fan of Peter Watt's Blind Sight? I have not heard of it, so. The reality of the situation, individual, is that DP nostalgia will do well. I mean, nostalgia in general, right? Nostalgia in general. Am I married? I am married, yes. Kind of on topic, I used to love hearing you roast G-Man and the religious morons of Brett's ilk. Well, that's the thing, is like when he has... Brett doesn't even have an island of misfit toys right now. Like when Brett is posseed up because he's got an enemy, that's when Brett gathers all of these J-dubs and Polymorris and, you know what I mean, these weird, you know, that's when he, right now, you know what I mean? Like I said, he's in the tank. He's in the tank. Nephilim free. What was that other one, dude? True empiricism. Paul Vegan Games invitation would be epic. I mean, yeah, I don't have a, you know, I don't have a problem with that. Geegan Veins. Disprove God. Disprove God. All my homies hate true empiricism. Yeah, dude. All the real ones, no.
What are you doing, D? What are you sniffing? Do you sniff a snoofle? Are you sniffing a snoofle over there, buddy?
You want to come see me for a minute?
What are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you gonna go? You want to be a fluffy boy? So fluffy, so poofy, so goofy. You sniff me. I ain't good with sniffs. I ain't doing me a sniff. Well, a handsome boy. A sweet boy, a handsome boy. That comfy? On my watch. Give that yard a watch.
Oh, D. Why are some people more nostalgic? Is it a state of stagnation? No, I mean, I think it's just kind of a natural thing. As you get older, the stuff that was around when you were young, you know, starts to, you know, oh man, I miss that stuff. And you start looking for that. You start going back to it. You start looking for other things and give you that feeling, you know. It's pretty common, I think. Dirty Dusty D from the Salty Sea. That's your full government name, huh? Blind programmer, I'm nostalgic because we're moving towards a shitty place to live. Oh. So you like, it's kind of like homesickness for you then. I see. That east-west thing was almost as if you're going in a circle. It is. It is. Thought you were Dumbledore? Well, that must be because you're a dumbass whore. Damn. That was fucking way too aggressive. I'm sorry. You're banned. But I take that back. That was mean. I came from a mean place. A double kill. Triple kill. Quadra kill. Holy shit. Ultra kill. Kill-tacular. There was a bunch of other ones too, wasn't there? Kilimanjaro. Yeah, that's so stupid, but it was a pretty good one. Dinor. Dinor, come here. Hey. Hey. Hush. Hush up. What are you barking at? You got the whole neighborhood going ape. You got the whole neighborhood going ape over nothing. Come here. Come here. You go inside. Chill out. See what he's eating. Just the neighbor doing his yard, D. For fuck's sake, man. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.